Back here, Bart Scott, and we are going viral. Check out Bears head coach and former Arena League quarterback Matt Nagy dropping a dime in the back of the end zone. How about the throw, CC?
Okay, here we go.
Let me see it. Ooh.
Oh, that's a good throw there.
Oh, wow.
He led him on the post. I like it, Nagy. That's a dime there. That is a dime.
Better throw than his quarterback capable of making.
Oh, wow. Are you just killing Trubisky, too, now? Just because
Bears
you had bad quarterbacks forever don't mean all the quarterbacks are bad.
No, that makes me an expert when I see one.
That's a great throw. That's a great throw by the coach.
That's impressive. I didn't see that one coming.
That's nice.
You don't often see the head coach.
CC ain't got no gifts for you on the set.
No, most of the guys in NFL, they can't play.
Right.
There's a practice squad quarterback with your Philadelphia Eagles, if I remember correctly.
Not when I was there.
Oh, well, at some point.
I don't think you would have been interviewing.
Nah, he's too young.
Back to the Cleveland Browns now.
We got two jerks, Bart and Nick.
Yeah, we both equal opportunists.
By now you've heard the hype, the expectations in Cleveland. New coach, great players, sky-high optimism for the first time in years. Yesterday, first-year head coach Freddie Kitchens gave us a glimpse into how the show will be run moving forward. Take a listen.
The days of inside information and the days of unnamed sources and stuff like that have ended. So you're not going to get any information like that ever. Anybody. And if I ever see it, they're fired immediately. That's the way we're running this organization. And I can take it. John Dorsey can take it. We won't crack, I promise you.
Is it because he's done giving them out now that he's the head guy? Come on, quit playing, man. You can't stop leaks, bro. We called it the CIA when we was there, man. People always get those relationships with reporters and start leaking stuff to push their agenda.
All right, all that being said, assuming there are no more leaks, how difficult do you think it's going to be for this team to live up to all the expectations that are being put out there?
I mean, I heard you talk about Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs living up to their expectations early in the show. The difference was they were coming from a winning culture. They were coming from a winner environment. You talk about the coach and what Bill Belichick does up in New England, make sure that it's structure, accountability. They haven't had that in Cleveland, right? Coming from ownership. You know, now John Dorsey's come there and he's kind of righted the ship, got rid of Hugh. They had a coach fired in the middle of the season. You know, they have a lot to do. And really, when you think about the success of the team, who was the head coach last year? It was Greg Williams. So now Freddie Kitchens has to come in and he has to get the respect of the team. And of course, he's going to have the respect of the team early on. But what happens if they hit a bump? What happens if they don't live up to expectations? You know, they have a lot of talent, but it's not about the most talented team. I mean, the most talented group of individuals. It's about the most talented team. And what they have within their division is a culture and an identity and an unquestioned boss and leader in that division. When you think about Tomlin, you think about Harbaugh, you think about the management. They've had structure, so they know how to get it done. They've seen super teams before.
But here's the distinction I would draw. They weren't that far away last year. They won 7 games last season. They were in, by the way. They damn near finished 8-7-1 at the end of the year, almost executing a comeback against Baltimore in a game Baltimore needed. Pardon me. And early in the year, they lost 3 games on kicks on the final play of the game.
That means 0.
Well, it means this. They didn't have, we're not talking about a team going from 3-13 to the playoffs. We're talking about a team going from 7.5 wins, which is what 7-8-1 is, to 10 wins. Like, just having Baker start from week 1 might have been worth a win for them last year. Then they'd have been 500 instead. Like, you're shaking your head, but we see teams improve by a couple of wins every year that don't add Odell Beckham, that don't add Olivier Vernon, that don't add Sheldon Richardson, that don't see the natural progression of their young blue chip talent like Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Baker Mayfield. I don't think it's unrealistic what we're talking about with the Browns. We're not talking about the 0-16 or 1-15 Browns making a huge leap because they got this influx of talent. We're talking about a team that was a half game under 500 last year making the leap because they had this influx of talent.
And I know you have a lot of intel on that division, and you did make 2 good points as far as the coaching and the programs there. Pittsburgh does have a program. They didn't make the playoffs. Harbaugh does have a program. They got a quarterback who can't throw. And the reason why I like Cleveland and Freddie Kitchens, because I visited them last year. I did a game late in the season. They were playing against Carolina. And Greg Williams in title was the head coach. But Freddie Kitchens ran the offense. So he was already running half the team. Greg doesn't do anything as far as the offense was concerned, so that made me more comfortable with Freddie Kitchens. And then spending time with Dorsey, spending time with Alonzo Highsmith, which I did this past weekend at the Hall of Fame, talking to them about the culture they're trying to establish. They realize that. They realize they don't have a culture yet. They're trying to establish, I believe, that their goals are realistic. But where you're wrong is Baker Mayfield is not a loser. All right, Baker Mayfield is a winner, and he is getting ready to change the culture. If it was a different position, then I would say, oh, you know something? Yeah, those young players, they have lost a lot of games. But Baker Mayfield hadn't lost a lot of games. He hadn't had a lot of bad experiences in Cleveland, and I believe that that's how they're able to turn the culture around. That's how the culture got created in Baltimore. That's how the culture got created in Pittsburgh. In Cleveland, they have a tremendous opportunity because of those teams. They have some glaring weaknesses.
See, but you talk about, he has the talent, but they have some very volatile personalities within that locker room, and Baker being one of them. And we're going to see how they handle adversity. It's easy to win when nobody expects anything from you.
Bart,
when you come in and you're the hunted.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
If you were playing on the Browns, if you were one of the linebackers with the front that they have, what would you think your expectations for the season be? You're a player now. You're on that Browns team. You just came there being a veteran player. They brought you in. What would your expectations be?
Listen, well, my expectations to be playing at a high level and be the best defense in the league. But also to make that happen, guys got to make sacrifices. Sheldon Richardson got to say, you know what? I understand that I get paid for sacks, but I got to hold this jump through. I can't sit and swim and not hold the jump through because I'm trying to eat. Because I'm trying to live
highlight Myles Garrett.
Right. So what happens is you got to have people that's willing to take a step back. Like, yeah, individually I'm a great player, but maybe my stats may not reflect how great I am. So everybody, we saw this happen with the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? They have been a losing program for pretty much their entire existence, right? And then they had one great year. What changed the next year other than the quarterback not playing as well? Right? They start feeling themselves. And it's different type of games you play when you look at the opponent and they fear you. When you look at Cleveland and you say, you know what, this is going to be a tough game, you're going to get everybody's best preparation.
Agreed. But the distinction between the Jaguars when they had their excellent season, by the way, even that excellent season, I think they won 10 games.
10-6.
And then they ended up upsetting the Steelers.
They should have beat the Patriots.
Sure. But the regular season, they were good, not great, and then they had a really impressive playoff run. The distinction between them and this Browns team is that Jags team the following year had one way to beat you. Hold you to 17 or fewer. Because that offense was not going to do anything. They're running an old school offense with, I think, an overrated back in Fournette, a very limited quarterback in Bortles. This Cleveland team is going to be able to win games where the offense sputters, and they'll be able to win games where the defense sputters.
I've seen it.
Okay.
Right? No, when I say I've seen it, now Baker Mayfield has film out there in the same offense. So what the great defensive coach is going to do, they're going to break it down. And now he's going to be trying to facilitate and be a distributor to a lot of high profile personalities. So tell me what Cleveland's record
going to be this year. Since you're so pessimistic, what's the record?
Listen, it could be 10-6 or it could be 8-8.
10-6 is a hell of a season.
Or it could be 8-8.
Okay.
They played against people that's been around the block before. We've seen
Lamar Jackson ain't been around no block.
Well, that organization.
Ben Roethlisberger ain't been around the block with them bum receivers he got.
All right, we gonna see, man.
We got to take a break. Stick around, Bart. Let's do this.
I'm gonna stick around.
Again, just with different
I ain't got no gifts for you. I just got these hot takes, CC. That's all I got for you. I ain't got no Man of the Year award for you, son.
Okay.
It's not first things first.
We getting ready to figure out in this break if he gonna be in the next one. All right, that's what we getting ready to do.
Listen, because I said this shit, I still get